Hey YouTube, I just want to take a few minutes and go live with you here to address something that's really concerning to me. It's been bothering me for some time now, and that's the way that people just frankly talk to each other on social media, in the YouTube comments, on Twitter, on Facebook, particularly when they're debating religion or politics in matters such as that. And here's something I want to suggest. We certainly see this in political discourse too, not just on social media, but amongst our politicians. And the tendency that some people are going to have is to point to certain politicians, like maybe the president or someone like that, and say it's their fault. But let me tell you something. Government always reflects the people, and we can't be blaming politicians for our problems. Politicians certainly have a way of contributing to our problems, but ultimately, it's the people, especially in a democratic republic in which we live here in the United States. It's the people that are ultimately responsible, and we have to look in the mirror. And when we see problems in politics, it's because there's problems with us. So I want to say though that we need to do a better job of just talking with each other and working through differences and such. One of my favorite passages in the book of Proverbs is Proverbs chapter 3. Most Christians would, when they hear Proverbs 3, are going to think of Proverbs 3, 5, and 6, and those are certainly fantastic verses, and everyone should know Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. But that's not really the passage I want to look at right now, just this next few minutes with you. If you have your Bibles and want to turn to Proverbs 3, 3, and 4 is what I want to focus on. Proverbs 3, 3, and 4. I'm reading from the New King James Version. And Proverbs 3, 3, and 4 reads the following: Let not mercy and truth forsake you. Bind them around your neck. Write them on the tablet of your heart. And so find favor and high esteem in the sight of God and man. I want to look at the benefits first. If we do what we're supposed to do, here are the benefits. The benefits are found in Proverbs 3, verse 4. The benefit is we will have favor with God, and we will have high esteem with God. High esteem means to be highly valued. So we will find favor with God. We'll be blessed by God. We will also have high value with God. God will consider us and our conduct to be valuable. And we will be favored by people in general. Obviously, people are different, and so not everyone's going to appreciate you. But generally speaking, if you do what this proverb says in verse 3, then you'll be favored by both God and the people in your life. And so that is what the promise is, and I think that's something that all of us should strive for. Well, here's what we're supposed to do to get that favor from God and from people. We are supposed to let not mercy and truth forsake us. We're supposed to make sure that mercy and truth are bound to us. It says, bind them around your neck. It's like a chain around your neck, and write them on the tablet or table of your heart. Mercy and truth. A lot of times when you get into conversations on social media, people are all about advocating the truth as they see it. Now, I'm not defending relativistic truth. I believe truth is absolute. I believe truth is objective. However, we have to remember that all of us are human beings. We're all flawed. We all have our own perspective. We all come to the truth from our own vantage point. And so even though truth is absolute and truth is objective, our relationship to the truth is relative. So we have to be humble about that, okay? We have to recognize that. Someone about the importance of love and trust in a relationship, but the person to which you're talking may have been deeply, deeply wounded and burned in several relationships and may not be in a position where they're ready to trust someone right now. And that requires that ingredient called mercy. And that's just one of many examples. We need to have mercy. We need to be showing grace and mercy to the people in our life. And when we're talking with people on social media, and just because someone disagrees with you does not make them your enemy, or at least you shouldn't see them as your enemy right now. We need to have mercy, more mercy in our society, more graciousness and tolerance of one another. You should not see people with whom you disagree as your personal mortal enemy. You should not see politicians on the other side of the political fence as your mortal enemy. You should not be out to destroy people just because they have a different point of view or a different perspective. You need to be merciful. And I realize that a lot of people equate mercy with weakness, and that's a shame. That's a shame because the fact is Jesus is the perfect example of a person with mercy, and Jesus is certainly not weak. But we need to have that sacrificial, humble spirit of grace and mercy. And here's the thing: you get into a discussion with someone, and maybe you're 100% right, and the other person's 100% wrong. That's kind of rare, by the way. Normally, there's some wrong on both sides there. But let's just say hypothetically that you're 100% right, and the other person is 100% wrong. If you beat them down into a pulp without any mercy and without any grace and without any love, what's the point? What's the point? And when you think about the disagreements that we have with other people, let's take politics, for example. If our political discourse continues the way it's going right now and gets to the point where each side just destroys the other side, where candidates and people are just tools to be destroyed, lives to be ripped apart, reputations to be completely demolished. If it's just a dog eat dog world and we're just out to destroy the people that disagree with us, what's the point of politics? I mean, ultimately, we should be motivated to be good citizens and voters and be engaged in the political process because we love our country. But how can we love our country if we hate our neighbor? How can we love our country if we hate the people in the country, or half the people in the country? And if we base our love for people on whether or not they disagree with us or whether or not they help us, then it's really not love for other people. It's love for ourselves that's driving us. It's self-love. And I would encourage in religion. Let's take religious disagreements. If you're at the point where you're going to be yelling and shouting and name calling someone else because they differ with you on religion, then what's the point of having a religious belief? Ultimately, the highest ethic is supposed to be love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength. That's what Jesus said. And then number 2, love your neighbor as yourself. If you're moving away from loving God and loving your neighbor into hate, then you're off track. You're off the rails from the get-go. So you've got to have mercy and you got to have truth. Both are important. You've got to be committed to both, and you've got to be balancing both. And without mercy and truth, you're not going to have the favor of God on your life. And so that's my encouragement to you this afternoon, this Wednesday afternoon. I hope it's been somewhat helpful to you, and I wish you all the best, whether you agree with me or not. Bottom line is, I love you. I care about you. I want the best for you. So God bless you. Take care. Have a good rest of the day.